guys, I'm Cameron and welcome back to my channel where we sip tea and also spill the tea as I talk about some of my favorite reads. So first of all, I want to say hi. How are you? I know it's been a while since I've made a video. I think my last video was sometime in October, so it's been about a month. And honestly guys, I have no excuse. If you watched my last video, which was a spooky book haul, in that video I was talking about how I was going through a reading slump, and honestly guys, I did not get out of it. I sadly didn't read a single book in October. That was horrible and dreadful. But after going through that month of not reading any books, I finally kicked that reading slump and I've read about 7 or 8 books so far for this month, so yay for that. So to get back into the swing of things, I wanted to make a book haul video because this whole month I've been making up for all the books that I have not read in October by buying a lot of new books. So I have quite a few books that I want to talk to you guys about. So without further ado, let's get into my huge reading book haul. The first book on my list is called Savage Lands by Stacey Marie Brown. So I have already read a couple other series by this author, and I just have to say that she writes the most delectable and sexy guys ever. I just love her writing style. Everything that she writes is just so addictive. She has such a way of really creating a fun and just thrilling adventure to read. All of her books have non-stop action and intrigue and lusty romance. It's awesome. So to give you a quick synopsis, this is about a girl named Brexley who is 19 years old, and she has spent her life growing up in a post-apocalyptic world. The Fae and humans all live together in modern-day Budapest. So this is actually following some huge Fae war where the Fae were fighting against the humans. So there are a lot of tensions between the Fae and the humans. Now Brexley, she lives in a life of luxury. She was lucky enough to be the daughter of a man who was very high up in the military ranks. So she has a very cushy life, but she's also somebody who she knows how to fight, and she's been trained to be a soldier so that she can fight against the Fae. So something happens where Brexley ends up getting into a lot of trouble and she has to go to a Fae prison. And this prison is something that is the stuff of legends. And everybody knows that if you go to this prison that you're not coming back, that you might as well be dead. So Brexley is obviously very, very scared whenever she finds herself in this, as aforementioned, prison. And it is here that she meets a man named Warwick Farkas, who is basically the stuff of nightmares. He is known to the humans as being a myth himself because he was somebody who he fought in the Fae Wars, and he was just very cruel and brutal, and anybody who was in his path he eliminated them. So it is here that she starts to feel a strange connection with Warwick Farkas, and as she's trying to survive this new world, she starts to get to know Warwick Farkas a bit more. So guys, if you want a book that is sexy, that is thrilling, and that is just overall about a girl who's trying to survive in a world where Fae and humans are pitted against each other, then this is so for you. So the next 2 books on my list is a duology series that I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of. This is The Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller. So I actually read one other book by her, by Miss Trisha Levenseller, and it was The Shadows Between Us, and that was a standalone novel, which whenever I read it, I thought it was going to be absolutely amazing, but I did not like it whatsoever. And so I had previously heard about The Daughter of the Pirate King from other people who just raved about this series, but I never really wanted to pick these books up because after reading that standalone book by Miss Levenseller, I was just really kind of turned off from reading anything else by her. But I went to Barnes & Noble recently and saw this book, and there was a buy one, get another book, half price. And so I thought, why not? Why not pick this book up? So I got it. And guys, I actually have already had the chance to read the first book. And I want to say, this book is so much better than The Shadows Between Us. I really enjoyed this because it just has everything that I like. It has a feisty female character. It has an enemies to lovers type of trope. And it's just really, really good. And there's also some really funny side characters who just make this world that this author created so much more delectable and so much more just fun to sink my teeth into, you know? So just to tell you what this is about a girl who is, surprise, the daughter of a pirate king. So this girl's father, who is the pirate king, is trying to find 3 keys that 3 different pirate crews have. And whenever you find these 3 keys, you can put the keys together to create one big key so that it can open some type of treasure that is hidden on this island. And this treasure is supposed to be like the biggest find and the wealthiest treasure that any pirate could have. In order to try to get one of the keys, this girl's father sends her on a mission to infiltrate a pirate ship so that she can search the ship to try to find the key that they know that this crew has. So this girl decides to get herself caught by this crew so that she can be a captive, and at night she can sneak out of her prison cell and try to find the key. So while this book is obviously about the daughter of the pirate king, it is also about a man on the pirate ship who is the first mate, and his name is Raiden, and he is actually her interrogator. And guys, I just have to say that Raiden, he's so cute. I really liked the banter that was constantly going on between Raiden and Alosa, who is the daughter of the Pirate King. Take a shot every time I say the title, okay? But anyways, I loved the banter between these two, and I really liked the enemies to lover relationship that was being built in this book. There were so many twists and turns, and guys, I really do suggest this book. I liked it so much that I immediately ordered The Daughter of the Siren Queen from Amazon, and I'm very excited to start reading this one. So yeah, this is The Daughter of the Pirate King and The Daughter of the Siren Queen. The third book in my list is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. So this is a book that puts a twist on the Persephone and Hades love story, and this is obviously about Persephone, who is the goddess of spring, and in the synopsis it says how she's a goddess by title only. Apparently she has little if no magic at all, and so she basically makes a life for herself in the mortal realm where she poses as a human journalist. So it is here where she ends up stumbling and having a chance encounter with Hades, who is the owner of a gambling empire, and somehow she ends up striking a deal with him where she has to go down to the underworld and she has to sow the seeds of her freedom in order to get out of the underworld. And by that, I believe what they mean is that she has to try to create life. Since she is the goddess of spring, apparently I guess she's supposed to maybe make nature spring up from nothing. So she has to try to do that, and if she can't, then I believe she's stuck in the underworld. And so while she is trying to make the most of her magic and to really try to sow the seeds of her freedom, she ends up starting to have feelings for the god of the underworld, and apparently it is forbidden. And guys, let's just say we all love a forbidden romance, like, oh, Romeo and Juliet, Persephone and Hades. Oh, I love that. It's like candy. I'm so excited to read this book. So yeah, that is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. The fourth book is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. So this is the third book in the Cruel Prince series, and what's funny is that I read The Cruel Prince about a year ago and I really didn't like it. It was a enemies to lovers type of bully trope, and when I first read it, I didn't really like it because I felt like the bullying aspect was just too much for me and I just couldn't handle it. But after a year, I have been trying to get out of my comfort zone more, and I've actually found myself trying to read books that I wouldn't necessarily read. So I ended up rereading The Cruel Prince about a couple weeks ago, and it honestly did not bother me as much as it did the first time around. Maybe I just knew what to expect, but I felt like the bullying really wasn't that bad. So I read this book, and then I read the second book, and now I got the third book, and yeah, I'm really excited to read it. If you don't know what this series is about, it's basically about a girl named Jude, who is a human who, when she was younger, she was kidnapped by the Fae and brought to the Fae world, where she has to live amongst the Fae, and the Fae do not like her because she is human. They think that she's less than, and it is here that she is trying to make a name for herself. She's trying to prove that she's not weak just because she's mortal, and it is also here where she starts to fight back against her bullies, and one of those bullies is Prince Carden, who is aka the Cruel Prince. So yeah, throughout the series they end up getting to know each other better, and there is a bit of a romance starting to spring up between them, and I can't wait to learn more about their romance and their certain circumstances in the third and final book, known as The Queen of Nothing. So the next book on my list is The Princess Trials by Cordelia K. Castell. So in the synopsis, the author says that this book is like a combination of the Selection series and the Hunger Games, which, guys, that is absolutely and 100% accurate. If you have never read the Selection series is basically about a group of girls who come from all these different casts, and they're trying to compete for the prince's heart, and whoever wins the prince's heart, they get to become the queen, and they get married and they live happily ever after. And it's basically like The Bachelor, except with kings and princesses and all that kind of stuff. So this book is just like that. It is about a group of girls from different casts that are all coming together to try to compete for Prince Kavon's hand in marriage, and they're all trying to catch his attention. But it is so much different at the same time, because the girls here, while they are all catty, just like the girls were in the Selection series, these girls are twisted. These girls are cruel, and these girls are like on drugs. They are crazy. It is deadly here, and that's why they say it's like the Hunger Games, because these girls are literally out to get each other. And they have no aversions to killing to get the prince's attention and to knock out the competition. And another twist to the series is that our girl here works for the resistance, and she's actually a spy sent to go and compete in these princess trials to win the prince's hand. But her real mission is to try to find any type of secret passages that the rebellion soldiers can use to try to rebel and fight against the monarchy. So yeah, guys, check it out, you know. So the next book on my list is The Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This is about a girl named Amelia who has a twin sister, and they are both witches living in Italy, and they are trying to keep their witchcraft a secret because it is set in a time period where if they were discovered to be witches, then they would be executed and murdered. And Amelia's sister ends up getting murdered herself, and after dealing with the grief of losing her sister, she gets very, very vengeful, and she wants to find out who killed her sister. Nobody knows who murdered her, and so she makes it her mission to try to find out who took her sister's life. So in order to try to figure out who killed her sister, she ends up making a deal with a prince of hell whose name is Wrath. And in this deal, he says that he will help her try to find the murderer of her sister. And yeah, so this book sounds really, really good. It has demons and witches and murder, and what more can you want? And also, this is a bit of a enemies to lovers trope again. I do know that this book is obviously a romance between our girl Amelia and our very sexy demon prince Wrath, and I'm very excited about reading this book because I love a dark romance and I love witchcraft and I love just everything in this book. It's just calling my name. I have to read it and I'm so excited. So yeah, that is The Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. The next book on my list is I Owe You by Christy Marie. So first of all, guys, just look at this cover. Oh my gosh, like look at these abs and the cards, and oh, it's just a beautiful cover. Like I could look at this all day. If I could have this as a poster, I would totally have it as a poster and put it, like hang it in my room, hang it on my wall or something. Like, oh, it's just beautiful. Like that is a man's body right there, and it's just nice. It's very nice. So out of all the books on my list, this is the only one that is a true romance novel. All of the books that I have for you guys that I've recently ordered or bought from Barnes & Noble, it is a paranormal romance. And this is the only real, just plain, basic romance. But just because it's a plain, basic romance does not mean that it isn't great. And this book, just by reading the synopsis, it sounds like so much fun. I'm very excited to check it out. So this is basically about a girl named Ainsley James. She's in college and there's this guy named Maverick who I believe she has like a really big crush on, and he is somebody in college who is known as somebody who, if you take a card from him, which is right here, those are his cards. If you take a card, then he will do a favor for you, anything that you ask, but you have to owe him a favor as well. And so I think to try to get close to this guy who she finds super, super sexy and hot, she decides to take a playing card and to owe him a favor. So It just sounds so good. It's supposed to be a romantic comedy, and I'm really excited about reading this. This just gives off the type of vibes, like just from reading the synopsis, it reminds me a bit of the Off-Campus series by Miss L. Kennedy, and I really like that series. I read the first 2 books in that. I haven't continued it so far, but I really liked it, and this just kind of reminds me a bit of that. So yeah, I'm really excited about reading this. It's also really like, it's smaller than all my other books. It only has about like 200 something pages, which is a relief because all the books that I've been reading is pretty thick, and yeah. Yeah, so I'm really excited for this. I am looking forward to reading this and to talking to you about how I felt about this book. So that is IOU by Christy Marie. The next book on my list is one that I'm really, really looking forward to read. Like, oh, it just sounds so good. It sounds like everything that I like. So it is called The Kingdom of the Exiles by Maxim M. Martineau, I believe. That's how you pronounce that name. Guys, I loved the cover of IOU, but look at this cover. It is so beautiful. The girl, first of all, she's gorgeous. Like, look how beautiful she is. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? Yeah, look how beautiful she is. And look at the vines on her arm and her hair flowing in the wind and the kingdom in the back with the smoke. Like, it just looks so cool. It looks like such a cool book. And whenever I saw this, like, I saw this at Barnes & Noble. This is another book I bought from Barnes & Noble. When my eyes locked onto this cover, it was just calling my name. It is beautiful, and it is truly love at first sight. I just knew that I had to read this, and after reading the synopsis, it just sounds so good. And okay, let me tell you what this is about, okay? So this is about a girl named Lena Edenfrell, who is a charmer, and by that it means that she is somebody who can find rare and magical beasts and she can tame them. And it's in this world where she ends up getting accused for using her magic on a human, which is illegal, and she ends up running away and getting the heck out of Dodge so she doesn't get in trouble. And it's here where she has to end up trying to sell off her animals, which just breaks her heart, and she has to try to sell them off to get money so that she can go back and somehow prove her innocence, I think. I'm not sure, but anyways, it is here where she ends up getting chased down by a very, very notorious assassin who is sent to track her down and kill her. Now, she ends up making a bargain with this assassin, saying that she will help him find like a few very rare beasts to try to break a spell that has been put upon this man. And so they end up going on this adventure together to try to find these rare and magical beasts, and along the way they end up starting to have feelings for each other. And guys, this just sounds so good. Like, it just can't get any better. We have such a beautiful title, we have such an awesome synopsis, and I love assassin type of reads, and it just sounds so good. I'm so excited to read this. I love enemies to lovers, and this is definitely an enemies to lovers story, so I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really excited about this book. Like, my voice is getting all high and pitchy. It sounds like I'm going through puberty like a guy or something. Okay, so yeah, that is Kingdom of Exiles by Maxim M. Martineau, and I'm so excited to read this book. Okay guys, so we have made it to the end of the video. There's one more book that I'm going to bring up, and then I'm going to talk about one last book on this haul. This has been such a long video, but my final book on this list is The Traitor's Kiss by Erin Beatty, and this is a story that is a twist on Pride and Prejudice. So this is about a girl named Sage Fowler who is deemed unfit to marry because she's a woman known for being unladylike and just being a very strong and independent girl, and she loves being that strong and independent girl. So instead of being a wife, she is somebody who is paid to be a matchmaker. She is sent on these type of missions, I believe, to try to help aristocratic women find husbands, and it is here where she ends up getting recruited by these soldiers to be a spy and to spy on the noblewomen and on the men who they are meeting. And it is here where she meets the main lead soldier who is sent to watch her to make sure that everything is going well as she's sent on these little missions to be an undercover spy. So yeah, this book sounds like so much fun. I've read a few reviews so far, and I heard that there's like a really big twist towards the middle of the story. Like, the book starts out as like mainly having a big focus on the romance between the soldier and our main girl, but towards the middle of the book, like, some crazy twists happen and things get very dark and very dangerous. And so guys, that sounds really good. That sounds awesome, you know? So yeah, I'm excited to read The Traitor's Kiss. So guys, we have made it to the end. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Once again, I'm sorry for taking so long to come up here and post another video. It has been such a long time, and guys, I have missed you. I have missed posting videos, and I swear that I'm going to try to get back on my game. I'm going to try to get back in there and post more videos for you guys because I have so many exciting things that I want to talk about. I hope that you enjoyed this book haul. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up because, guys, honestly, that just makes me happy to know that you guys are watching this. So yeah. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Mwah. I'll see you next time. Bye.